episode of Let's Do It Talk Radio Show. So, we have some very good information scheduled for you today. We have a special guest. We have Janice Bowles who will be talking and giving you some feed on a couple of different things. But so today we're talking about decisions. Decisions. So when is the best time for, or when is the right time for? So we're going to play around with that on a couple of different things. We're going to talk through it from the standpoint of when is the best time to change your job? When is the best time to start or stop a business? That's a good one. So it's not only start, but it's also start. Also, when is the best time? What is the right time to buy a house? And then we're going to close it out with relationships. Like, when is the best time to end a relationship? So, I'm your girl, Ladrine Howard Peterson, CEO and founder of Do It, delivering on ideas and thoughts. And what I do in a nutshell is I help to turn dreamers into doers. And I do it from two avenues. I do it from the avenue of career development, so I'm a coach, and I also do it from business. If you have a marketing issue, you need some help with your marketing strategy, or you just have some ideas and thoughts and you want to have them to be brought to fruition, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. So we're going to do introductions and then we're going to get started with the show. Who do I have here?
Hello, everyone. I am Janice Bowles. I am a licensed realtor and a real estate investor, small business owner. I own a real estate investment firm called B Premier Ventures, where we buy and beautify distressed properties, rate them, and then flip them for profit. So I also consult with individuals who are interested in, getting to know about real estate, the ins and outs of investing. I can consult with you, kind of get you on the right track to, whether or not you're ready to get started with investing, the ins and outs of investing, and I do group coaching with regards to that. So I'm your girl for all real estate, realtor and real estate investor.
Yes, and we have a special guest in the studio with us today. She's going to give a brief intro, but we will be doing an interview a little bit later today. Tell
Hi,
them who you
I'm
are.
Kimberly Carroll, and first, thank you both for
You're so
allowing me to be
welcome.
here.
Absolutely.
And I am the owner of the African American Business Expo. Also, I'm a sales manager at a local hotel.
Yes, and do you not say the local hotel on purpose?
Oh, I didn't know, but it's
Okay,
the
okay, you
Comfort
could
Inn.
definitely
It's
say
the
it.
Comfort Inn
Because
in
I wanted
Upper
to say
Marlboro, Maryland.
that is how we met.
Yes.
So when we get into relationships, it's important to make sure that you cultivate relationships. When you meet people in different environments, you never know where that relationship will actually take you to. So we'll talk about that a little teeny bit later. So just quickly, like my weekend, as you all know, I had two deaths in my family, so we're in between the funerals. But last week I was down South Carolina, so I got the opportunity to do some around Browns. There's certain things that I do when I go there. My family has a street, the Howard Court, that's named after us, and now my grandfather and everyone for all the work that they did. So I always go and visit that. Look at the tree. I don't like pecans anymore because pecans used to fall off the tree and we used to sit in the backyard playing, just crack open. I don't like those. Look at the field. We used to grow watermelons. I don't like watermelons anymore because we had them at our exposure.
Right.
But it also went by the candy store. So it's this candy store I used to go to, family members, and I went and got me some penny candy, some pork cracklings. Now they sell it with the little
Girl,
sauce that going
yes,
on with it.
yes,
I'm
yes.
trying to tell you, but it was amazing. And then yesterday, huge shout out to my Reverend Rice. She had a busy day. She's covering for our pastor, and a lot of the church members are in East Africa or some part of Africa on their annual trip. And although she had a busy day, she took time out, have lunch, dinner with me to just, going through something and she could feel that. So I really appreciate
That's
from
so
her for
important.
that.
Yes, yeah.
And
So
in
personable
church,
too.
yes,
Yeah, I love
yes,
that.
yes, I love her to death. One of the little young girls from I Am the Legacy, she pulled me up on my collar. She's like, "What's going on with the campaign?" And I was like, "You know what? I got ill, but you know what? She called me out, so I
Oh,
need to
okay.
get that." Yeah, she's
She your young
my little
accountability
young
partner.
my little young media person. She's like, like I'm ready. So that's going to be coming back on. So, and
good.
then I ended it up with sitting at the table with a group of real estate folks.
Ah,
I have to introduce you to this circle.
yes, please do.
It was amazing. Everyone at that table was talking about the property that they had.
Right.
I immediately thought about you and the topic that we were going to be discussing today. So, fun group, definitely a group for you to bring on and have like a dialogue with them about
Absolutely.
various things.
Absolutely. Looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and jump into topic number 1. And before I do that, I want everyone to remember that there are different ways that you can view our information. So we have Facebook Live, and we appreciate that because you can chime in live and we'll be able to see it. But also Urban Style Media, they have our information on their page. So if it's not social media or you're somewhere you can't get to it, you can make sure you view it from there. And also you can catch the replays from our website, and we'll provide that information later, as well as our YouTube page. So we're going to jump on into the conversation, and topic number 1 is, when is the best or the right time to buy a home? And you know our guru is in the building, so Miss Janice Bowles is going to take over and it's going to give us some education on this topic.
Yes. Well, I have some information that is cited from massvisor.com. It's
Okay.
MASHVISOR.com. And it's basically some real estate expert chatters. They're basically trying to decide or give their theories on where the market's going to be going for 2020. So basically, is now the time to buy? That's the question that we're asking. It's now the time to buy. I look at it from a realtor perspective, basically for first-time home buyers, ready to get in by owning their first property and what have you. And then I also look at it from an investment standpoint as well. As an investor, it's always a good time to buy because no matter where the market is, as far as the trend of if we're going into a recession or not, look at it from the standpoint of a few years ago when we were into the housing crisis and whatnot. That was a great time for investors to buy because they were able to buy many properties, at a lower cost. Now, because appreciation has happened, rates are low, interest rates are very low. It's a great time for the sellers as well because they're, selling properties and making profit, in addition to for home buyers that's coming in because they're going to take advantage of those rates. So tonight I'm really going to focus more so on coming in as a first-time home buyer. And like I said, from massvisor.com, where I cited some information, they're basically saying that real estate pricing will continue to go up. Okay, so that was a big concern, whether or not will 2020, will we get into a recession, or is it going to be another possible housing bubble, so to speak? So prices are going to continue to go up, which is good, but it's not going to be to the point where, a few years back in 2008 and 2009, where it was just exceedingly, the appreciation was just going crazy. Everybody had crazy equity, and then that bubble burst. Mm-hmm. So it's at a nice incline, which is a good thing for the economy. So the speculation is there's no major signs that there's going to be any type of slowdown in our appreciation. It's going to be very steady, which is good. Okay. That's a good thing. So that's what they're basically saying with regards to that. Affordability is not really a factor overall as far as the nation is concerned. It's based on different areas. For instance, affordability in New York City, for instance, that's just way out there. California, LA, San Francisco areas, those are, higher areas where the affordability might not be for the average individual. So it's based upon different markets, So I'll say, like, for instance, Atlanta, that's a hot area now to purchase in from, investors to first-time homeowners as well. Okay. So it's all about the area, the region, as far as affordability.
Okay. So can we go back to your first point that you were making at first? Mm-hmm. So in terms of the pricing, is there a certain month, like with it coming November, December being the holiday, and then the beginning of the year, January, any insight on that?
Well, as far as from a time for buyers to be looking for houses, I feel that, my personal opinion as a realtor, you can come across some good deals in the winter months, okay? That's really because the average individual kind of has this theory, whereas it's wintertime, there's to be too much inventory, but people are going to be, a little hesitant to have their houses on the market. That may not be the case because there's
Okay.
still going to be inventory out there, so it may be a good time, even better for, a first-time buyer or a buyer in general to take advantage of the winter months.
Okay.
We know that the springtime, and of course, that's when
Right.
the market picks back
Right,
up and
right.
everything. But again, wintertime, still be out there, still be looking.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
good time.
Great.
So also, as I was saying, affordability is not really a general overall factor. Interest rates are very good now. They're around 4%. They're going to project it to stay at that amount. And as long as the interest rates stay at a steady rate, that's going to be good for the buyers, because they can get in with affordability, for
Right.
mortgages and stuff. So
Okay.
that was good news, definitely, to hear that, that the interest rates are going to perhaps, stay stable. I guess as far as this being a seller's market versus a buyer's market, it's still a seller's market.
Okay.
It's all about supply and demand, and right now it's a seller's market because of the fact that the inventory, there is, more buyers, but not as much inventory.
Okay.
Which is good for a seller.
Yes.
Because that means basically a seller could perhaps receive multiple offers on a particular property, which is, gives him more negotiation as far as, which contract to go with, which offer to take. So it's definitely still a seller's market.
Okay.
Going into 2020, will it continue to be? It's going to slightly shift. Experts are saying more towards a buyer's market, which will basically mean that there's going to be even more, for them to choose from.
Yes.
But they predict that the first half that it's going to continue to stay a seller's market. So
Okay.
that's how the things are going with that. And then, for first-time buyers, it's a lot of questions as to, where do I get down payment from? How can I get down payment? What type of mortgage? There's a big myth that folks think that they have to have like a 20% down. That's definitely not the case. There's first-time FHA home loans available. There's down payment resources that's out there that's available. A lot of sellers, they help with closing cost assistance, so that's going to help you with your closing cost payments. There's different type of loan programs and mortgages out there.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You can finish your statement, but I do have a question.
Oh,
I'm
no,
sorry.
okay, go ahead with your
So
question.
my question is, in terms of the different programs that are out there, how does it work in terms of salaries? Because a lot of times, a lot of the programs are for low income or up to a certain amount. What about if someone is beyond the six figures, or if it's a dual couple that's even, up in the digits a bit?
Well, you're right. Most of the programs and assistance that's out there is based upon income, so to
Okay.
speak. There's also different programs out there that's based upon, let's say they have programs available for doctors, programs available for firefighters,
Okay,
teachers, and
right,
things
right.
of that nature. So it could be, with that aspect. If it's for a six-figure income person, there's programs out there, whereas with your six-figure income and your credit score, that's going to get you, the better rates in a sense in that
Okay,
aspect.
okay.
Not so much assistance as far as those type of programs,
Got
but
it.
again, different mortgage and loan companies have different aspects that they use.
Okay.
So you can shop around. I
Okay.
think definitely shopping around, not necessarily just thinking that, okay, I'm going to go to my bank that I personally bank with,
Right.
that they're going to offer the best for me.
Right.
Get in contact with a mortgage loan officer. You work with a realtor, they can give you information as far as referrals and what have you with that. But basically shopping around a mortgage is really key.
Okay.
Really key.
Cool.
So let me see here. What else do we have about that? So again, there's myth out there about low credit scores. That's another thing. A lot of folks think that if they have a low credit score, they cannot qualify at all.
Right.
It's a twofold with that in some aspects. Again, it depends upon the mortgage and the loans that are offered. Some loan programs have it where a person can have as low as a 580 credit
Oh, wow.
score, and they can get assistance and get a mortgage. Now, sometimes the interest rate may not be the best, so that's going to play a factor in. But you still have advantages to becoming a homeowner.
Okay.
And I think that's the main focus to be focused on. Of course, the higher the credit score,
Right.
the better interest rate.
Because they can refinance at a later point once they improve
absolutely.
it.
So just getting, just getting in there. I can recall in the 90s, oh my goodness, it was actually 1996 when my husband and I bought our first home, and I came into the picture with not so great credit. I'll have to admit that. I didn't come in with so much great credit. His credit was great, but because of my credit status and I had to rebuild, we came in at a 10% interest rate buying our first home, okay? So, it was still important for me and for him, to own a home together. He was already a homeowner previously on his own, but mainly for me. So, we had to put a little bit more money down in a sense. We had a higher interest rate, but just getting in there. And then after a year, we refinanced and, sky was the limit. So don't let that be a distraction for folks, that may have challenges with their credit. Always just seek to find out what your credit score is, what you can work with, and, you can work on that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So do you want to share your social media information?
Yes. So you guys can follow me on Instagram. It's at Janice Bowles, which is my name, Janice, Janice, Bowles, Boles. I'm on Facebook under my business, which is B Premier Ventures. You can follow me on Facebook with that and stay connected. And I'm licensed realtor. My brokerage that I'm with is CTI Real Estate, and we're licensed in Maryland and Virginia. So I can assist you with your home buying needs within Maryland as well and Virginia. So.
Great. And then also at the break is going to be a very cute thing because your commercial is going to play.
Oh, okay.
That's going to talk about your entire business. So we're looking forward to that.
Okay.
So we want to transition into the topic of jobs. So in terms of job, when is the best time to leave your job? When is the right time to find a new job? So there are 8 points pretty much. And the first one is you are consistently bringing negativity energy into your home life. So you spend normally a normal 8 hours plus on your job. So everything that you pick up from there, it seeps into your skin, into your everyday likeness of it. So what happens is you take all the energy, you wear yourself out. When you go home to your family, you're empty. And then not only that, you give them the result of the spillover. Whatever you went to at work, it's normally going to result and your family are going to get the impact of it. That's not fair. So if you're in a job where that's the situation, you need to run like really, really quickly. You need to run quickly. The second one is you are too comfortable. A lot of people get into zones where they become too comfortable. So, and let's look at that a little bit. The opposite of comfort is discomfort. You don't want to be in a position where you're discomfort, but you don't want to overly be comfortable because that will lead to a number of variations of things. It'll lead to you being stagnant and stuck and not growing, and that's cheating yourself. So I always tell people, work towards where you want to go, not where you are. That's how you keep your energy up, and it's not like you're giving the job anything extra or you're giving them. Think about yourself. Think about what you're doing for yourself. And what you're doing is you're building up your skill set and you're always preparing and getting ready for your next. So do not get comfortable and stay comfortable in a job. The third thing is you tell yourself it's just a job. I'm just going for a paycheck. Oh, me working in human resources for 28 years, me to hear that sound drives me nuts. I've always loved my job, except for out of my 28 years, I had 3 years that were crazy and hectic in terms of my transition. But other than that, and even now to this day, I love my job. So that's what I do in terms of coaching. I help people to develop and design their job. Like your dream job is what is it for you? What are the things that get you going? Mm-hmm. What are the things that are in alignment with your future goals? Because I'm all about careers, and some people, that's their thing and that's their passion that they walk in. But I often always tell people that I think and I believe and I know that God has a gift for everyone. Mm-hmm. Some people, that's their ministry, but I think everybody has a business in them, no matter how small or how large it is. So don't ever think that it's just a job. Like, my job is not just a job. I wake up and like, let's see what we're going to create this into today. My job is an adventure. My job keeps me going. My job gives me that platform to just learn, like ever learn. So that's why I'm so excited when I talk about my job and when I coach other people. I start off, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Let's create that. Let's create that. And I mean that in all sincerity. Once you get to a point where you can do your job with your eyes closed, it's time to go. It's time to go. If there isn't anything in that position where you can add in-depthness to it, or you can do something to make it a little creative, or there's no room or opportunity to grow, it's probably time for you to leave. That's kind of like self-explanatory. People look years and years later, and millennials come in making double what their parents make or something like that because there's no movement. Like, you have to pay attention and not count on someone else to manage your career. You have to manage your own.
So would you say that folks should be kind of in the mode, no matter what career that they're in, to be basically planning for their exit strategy in a sense from the beginning?
So,
in a sense, how do you feel about
and I
that?
don't necessarily think that it has to be an exit strategy, but you always have to be preparing for your next, whatever your
So use the
next
word next.
is.
Okay.
Because when I was in the federal, when I first started, I was like, oh, I'm staying here. When I saw the capability of how much you can make, and then I started figuring out all the benefits.
Right.
Yeah, I created my packet. No, the federal government does not pay for degrees. However, I got 2 master's degrees paid for by the federal government. I did it. Once you figure out their mechanism, I took class by class by class by class, and guess what? When you added it up, it equaled 2 master's degrees. And that's the way you go about it. So not necessarily, I wasn't planning for an exit strategy, but I was always planning for my next. I had my big goal, and what was my next along my pathway to get to.
So short and I guess long-term goals within whatever company that you're in.
Yes.
And don't look at it as it's just a job. Because you're
never.
never going to survive, I think, with that kind of mindset. I mean, it's going to make your day-to-day just terrible.
Yes,
I mean, in a sense.
absolutely.
We don't grow.
Yeah,
Yes, and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really, when you do it from that standpoint, you're really only contributing to that organization. You're not doing anything for
Fulfillment for
yourself. You're
yourself,
not
yeah.
growing. So you think, they don't pay me enough to do. They don't pay me enough. I used to be like, they don't pay me enough, but if I can get in that room, if I can get in that table. And
Right.
that was my mindset, because I always wanted to learn more to
Exactly.
help me to excel to where I wanted to be.
Yeah, you don't want to become disgruntled.
Absolutely not. Or mad about what you're doing, or holding back some creativity that
That's
you have
right.
because
Yeah.
they're not paying you enough.
Yeah, yeah.
They pay me enough to let me play. My job is my playground. My job is my playground.
I like that.
Awesome.
And then another thing is, when you are in the parking lot, you don't want to get out, or when you wake up in the morning and you don't want to go to work, you try to find excuses.
Yeah.
Time to get out. That's horrible, because it ends up like impacting you in all different ways, and it makes you like lazy in a sense. And it really, like, that whole thing of that mindset of not wanting to go there, that's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
And within some of my 3 years I was there, so I know, like, for a fact, I know the difference of like really being excited and being in that car. Oh my goodness, and like, I don't even want to go. I've been in the parking lot at work and have gone back home. It's like, I'm
And you
sick.
know what? That's a little bit of kind of what my husband kind of talked about, because he did 30 years in the private sector of
Okay.
a Fortune 500 company. And he said that he got to the point where, it wasn't exciting anymore.
Yeah.
And although he had been, and the reason why I say planning for his exit strategy, he had already put long-term when he wanted to retire, and he had a certain time frame. But, and he did that up to maybe a year off from that.
Okay.
But he said that the main thing for him was that it was not exciting any longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where
yeah.
the factor is focused on him to
Yeah,
walk away.
and that's definitely a key point. And people laugh at me all the time. I walk down the hall, hey, I'm excited about my job. I'm
Yeah.
excited about the work
Yeah.
that goes on. I'm excited about my staff, the environment, like everything. I know there's no such thing as perfect, but if there was one, I had it twice.
That's
And
right.
every job I've been in, it's not my position description that makes it great. It's what flavor I bring to it, the creativity. I will sit on my balcony and create something while I'm on vacation. I'll sit on my deck at home and create something. But I know the mission of my organization. I know my mission and my goals. How do I align them and make it work?
And
So
make impact while you're
what's
doing
in it
it.
for
Yeah,
them?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
how I
yeah.
always operate, and that's how I train my when I'm doing coaching. That's how I train people to do. I always start off, what do you want to do? That's the goal, and then you make it work around you.
And then, so that's sort of centered around if your current position doesn't match your future goals.
Yeah. And so
And you're stuck.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And so, all right, so that's my little topic. You see me all moving. Because that goes about it in two different ways, right? So if you're in a job and your current position doesn't match you, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are stuck and you have to find another job. So you have to be very careful with that. The one thing that I must say is don't ever feel like you're cornered.
Right.
When you feel like this is your only option, your whole attitude is going to be different. When I talk to my clients, and I'll be like, are you sure that it's your job? Like, write down the pros and the cons. So all the time it's not necessarily their job. Sometimes it is. And I'll say, just apply for another job. I bet you it'll make you feel better.
Right.
And it'll make them feel better. And especially if they get a call back,
Okay.
then they feel like they're
That'll
able to
heighten them up.
negotiate. Then
Yeah.
they can figure out. And sometimes they end up staying. Sometimes they leave. But it's not always that. You have to, like, take responsibility for
That's right.
yourself.
That's
Like,
right.
yes, your supervisor has a level and a responsibility.
That's right.
But take control over your
Of you,
career
yeah.
and you morph it into, I'm telling y'all, I've done tripped a couple little things. All of my jobs have been so, I've traveled around the world
Yeah.
with FDA. I went to China, India, South Africa, Costa Rica. I didn't have to do that, but I would be like, oh, we're around the world. We're sending people. I need to go over there, and I will always send one of my staff members right over there with me. I didn't have to do that, but I made it work because I told them how they were going to benefit from
There
it.
you go. There
So you
go.
got to work your magic.
There you go. Work that.
And then
magic.
the last two, and we can tie them in together, the environment is toxic and you're feeling physically or mentally unhealthy.
Oh, wow.
When you are in an environment that's toxic, I don't care if it's work, your friendship, your whatever, immediately remove yourself from
That's
that
right.
because your health is serious.
So true,
Stress
so true.
and all of the other things that
Yeah.
you're really feeling, like it already comes with age so that I am learning. But aside from that, like your mental is serious and you think you're strong, you think you can handle it. But when it happens like over and over and over
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
it starts to impact you and your body
Absolutely.
will
Yeah.
break down.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
make sure that you're not like staying in a toxic environment for whatever reason it is. Your health is important and your health comes first.
Purge.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Purge,
So
yeah.
y'all see how excited I get when we talk about careers and everything. But if you all have any questions, definitely put it in the feed. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to a quick commercial, and then on the other side, we're going to talk about business and relationship. When is the right time? When is the right time to get in or out of them? In or out. So we'll see you all on the flip side.
Are you interested in real estate investing but not quite sure where to get started? Do you want to get the know-hows on creating ongoing passive income using the buy and hold strategy? Hi, I'm Janice Bowles, licensed realtor and co-founder of B Premier Ventures, a real estate development and consulting firm where we buy and beautify distressed real estate, renovate it, and resell for profit. With over 15 years of investing experience, B Premier has extensive knowledge in rural land development, fix and flips, and rental acquisitions. B Premier's current portfolio consists of properties within Florida and Virginia. Our firm's services includes investor project consulting, project management, and group coaching. For more information, visit our website at bpremierventures.com and schedule a complimentary discovery session or subscribe to our email list. It's free. Follow me on Instagram at Janice Bowles for additional real estate investing tips. Be Premier Ventures, we buy and beautify.
Hello, welcome to the home of Crisco Enterprises LLC. Come on in and let us show you around. We are comprised of professionals in many fields, and we pride ourselves on being able to offer exceptional service as well as the highest quality products. We don't offer just another event, product, or service. We provide an experience, the Crisco experience. Some of the services we provide are photography and videography, event planning, catering and decor, DJ services, African drumming and instructing, motivational speaking and emceeing, website design, logo, graphics and printing, custom t-shirts and apparel and decals, mobile barbering and natural hair and lock maintenance. We also have a makeup artist who will provide your personal and professional photo shoot and big event makeup needs. If that isn't enough, check out our and more section, where you will find our partner services that include cartoon characters, moon bounces and water slides, face painting, popcorn, cotton candy, and snow cone machines. If you don't see the service or product you're looking for on our site, ask us about it. Chances are we can assist you with that too. Thank you for coming by. Now go ahead, contact us and let us know how we can help to provide you with your very own Crisco experience.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. So, of course, this is Let's Do It Talk radio show, and we're so excited. So, on the side here, we have a special guest. We have Miss Kimberly Carroll, and she's going to give you a quick overview of her background, and then we'll get into dialogue.
Okay. Well, I am the owner of the African American Business Expo, and I actually started my business in October. So it's fairly new.
Wow.
And
Congratulations.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And so we're talking about the best time to start a business. And here's what I think is important first is that we as entrepreneurs, you gotta have confidence
That's
in
right.
yourself.
Mhm.
It's so important. And I always have a biblical background. That's my strength.
Mm-hmm.
And
Awesome.
it's Isaiah 41:10, and it says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed.
Yes.
I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And so we have to know that within us, we were created by God, and within us, we have special talents,
Right.
special gifts
Yeah.
that we need to give to others. There's a need, and that's how my business birthed. I am one who encourages. I wrote 2 books,
Right.
and they help to encourage and give words of wisdom. And from that, it transferred into the African American Expo.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. In terms of October 2019, which just
2019.
last month,
Yes.
what was the factors that made you determine that this was the right time?
Opportunity.
Opportunity.
So I'm
That's a good one.
also the sales manager at the Comfort Inn.
Okay.
And so I have the opportunity of using the banquet space
Okay.
for the business expos, and I was like, okay, this is great,
Wow.
and I jumped for it.
Great
Don't
connection.
hesitate when the opportunity presents
Right.
itself.
Mhm.
Take it.
No, and that's very good because that's actually how I met you at the conference.
Yes.
And we ended up dialoguing.
Yes.
But the thing that you just now said, like your job
Yes.
and aligning it with your business,
My business,
that's
yeah.
like the key. And I keep telling people balance. Like, what's balance? Like, balance, how you gonna do that? It's not balance, it's aligning the two of them
Yes.
together. So perfect. It's like you already taken my class, but go ahead.
But it's also doing an inventory of yourself. You've got to know who you are.
Yes.
And you have to know what gifts you have. You don't, because you don't want to start a business in something that you're not going to enjoy doing.
Exactly.
right. That's
And
very
what's
important.
important is that don't be motivated by just money. Because when you first start a business, it's about promoting your business.
You're
And
not
the money is, you
It'll
don't,
come.
it's
You're
a break.
lucky if
It's a
you make
break
some.
even when you first start out. So
If you're lucky.
you gotta love enough of what you're doing.
That's right.
In order to keep motivated, to keep going, you gotta believe in yourself, believe in your company, believe
Right.
in your mission, and know that that's what's going to carry you through.
And that's why people always say, what would you do if you didn't get paid for it? What would you do for free?
That's right.
And it's not
Yeah.
saying to do it for free, but they're trying to get you in that mindset to understand so that when you're going through the process or when you're going through the struggle, it really doesn't feel like struggle
Right.
because you enjoy the work and it's your passion.
Yeah, passion.
And for a long time, I didn't believe that I was an entrepreneur, and I felt like God has led me to the path where He's just brought me to the light that you have all the skills of an entrepreneur.
What was the shift? What was the shift for you? That the
I
change.
lost my job. And I had gone back to the hotel. And I was like, I know that I'm great, and I know that I have a lot to offer. And it was at that point, I'm moving forward. I'm going to take the chance
There you
and
go.
what's up in here,
Right.
and make it a reality. Make it a reality.
So let's just take what you said, right? So you talk from scripture in terms of God, and you also say that we all have a gift. So no. I agree with you. I'm just laying the foundation now and making it to a pathway. And then when I was talking about careers, I talked about everybody has a skill and something to bring to the table. So all the time, God has His way of figuring out like when is the right time. So although we talk about the right time for everything, we know that God's timing is the right time. It's not our timing.
Yeah.
But in order for us to be able to discern and to understand when it is, whenever He's trying to get you to do something and we're not being obedient, He's going to shake that thing up. So you talk about
Yes, He
losing
will.
your job. And a lot of times people birth businesses when they have lost their job. But again, that's when your back is up against the
Yeah,
wall
yeah.
and you end up doing it. It doesn't mean that that's the wrong way to do it. That happens. And also, people also get it, like for the federal government. When we went on furlough, people started making pies and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
People's
Because they
mindset
had their
started
lowest in a
changing
sense,
in
and they
terms
had to
of like a second
compensate.
mindset.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so I was agreeing with you,
Yes.
building up the whole foundation.
Yeah, and in our community, we're not taught that we should be entrepreneurs. We're taught to be consumers, and we
Transition.
want people to buy from us because we have the talents and we have the gifts. Let's not focus only on being consumers, but focus on being business minded as
Yeah.
well, and
Yeah.
and allow our community to grow economically as well.
And if we learn to like just imagine this. Like imagine this. Everybody really fulfilled what's inside of them. Everybody actually acted upon that. Like you and your event planning and you bringing people together in terms of your hub, you and your real estate, me and my career, and me helping people to start business. We can just start from just 3 people out of 7 billion
right.
people in the
Yeah.
world. If we collectively work together, my house, my property, I got from you. You
Yes.
taught me how to do whatever, but I purchased from you. Any event that you wanted to do to teach your classes, you went to
Yes,
her.
yes.
Anything in terms of standing up your business, you came to me. And because you're a dualpreneur with your job as well. But just imagine in that standpoint, if every single person that you knew really acted upon what they did, we wouldn't need to go outside of our community.
No, we wouldn't.
We wouldn't.
wouldn't.
And so that's why as people are starting their businesses and they have their businesses, you got to make sure that you're following ethics and that you're doing everything and that you're providing customer service.
That's
Like we
huge.
don't want to go outside of it. But when I was down South Carolina, and that's why I always take that trip by myself. I always go look at the land. So I always go look at the property. I look at the funeral home. Like that's the funeral home that we use, but that's my great grandfather's funeral home. My mother always talks about when it was their house and it was a part of it. So that mindset has shifted. Back in the day, they were entrepreneurs, barber shops, stores, and
Yes.
everything connected to their home. So yes, in terms of we need to kind of like shift it back. And then in New York or wherever it was Black Wall Street.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what started me. I read about Black Wall Street, and I said to myself, if we could have a Black Wall Street in the most segregated time, back in the 1920s,
Yeah.
and we were thriving
Yes.
Black Wall Street,
Yes.
then we can do it now. And how do we do that? And I said, Kim, you one step at a time, one step at a time. And then I said, I'll gather all of our Black entrepreneurs together
And I
and
love
begin
that.
to build the Black economic base.
Yeah,
And
Just one step at a
yeah,
time.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a great vision. Yeah.
And I love that. I love what you're doing, but that answers my question. I was going to ask you what inspired you to start your business, but that's a great
Yes.
answer. And then also, like the list of people that you have. So talk about your event that's coming up. You
Yes.
have 2 speakers and you have
I
a whole
do.
list of vendors.
I have 30 vendors, and you can find the vendors on my Facebook page, African American Business Expo.
Okay.
And they're listed there. But it's December the 7th from 12 to 4 at the Comfort Inn in Upper Marlboro. And I would like to just thank Christian Gilliam, who is the general manager, and Cedar Johnson, she's the
Okay.
director of operations, who they're allowing me to birth my own business.
This is
and-
exciting,
and use the
wonderful.
space. So, yeah, it's from 12 to 4, and we have the Spiritual Jubilees of DC coming.
Ah, okay.
And we have Lakeisha L. Williams, who is with the Vision to Fruition Group.
Okay.
She's going to talk about the advantages of becoming an LLC.
Nice.
That's very important.
Okay.
And then Sheila Hawkins, who has her own business, Twisted Wristed, and she makes bangles.
Oh,
Yes. so
Classy. I love the name.
I like that.
she's going to give her testimony of moving from fear into an entrepreneur.
Is she 100% entrepreneur?
She no, because she's
Okay.
into real estate as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
But that's her newfound gift, and she turned it into a business.
Awesome,
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
So I know you provided your website. Is there anything else that you wanted to share about the event or any other information?
So the African American Business Expo, my vision is threefold.
Okay.
It's one is to provide the affordable vending space for African American entrepreneurs. The second one is to give them an arena of encouragement and build that network. The first expo was back in October. We had 25 vendors. This one we have 30, and we will continue to build this Black African American network where they can reach out to one another, because what we have to understand is that we all are going to go through the same things as
Exactly.
entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
New entrepreneurs need seasoned entrepreneurs to
Have a
guide
support
them
system,
and
yeah.
support them and make them. And the last is just the educational component. So I
Okay.
will always have someone talking like about the LLC, but educating
Yeah.
on the topics that entrepreneurs are interested
Yeah,
in.
and startup and what have you.
Yeah.
Now, you said the first one was in October?
It was
this past
October the 5th.
Okay, so are you planning hosting monthly, bi-monthly,
No,
quarterly?
in 2020 we will do 3.
Okay,
also sort of opening up, not just for vending, but in January, I hope to hold a vision planning for both groups of entrepreneurs, but others who want to also be a part of that, because January is important. We're having it in January.
Absolutely.
And then February, I'm going to do a clean and sober comedy night for
Nice.
Valentine's Day. So
Okay.
it's a great time, and of course, I will be using all entrepreneurs. The
Yeah.
comedians are all Black, and it's just going to be a wonderful
Wonderful,
time.
wonderful
Come out and
community.
have a great time.
Yeah, and let me know about your vision board party in
Yes.
January. So I normally do a vision board party. We can collaborate and bring like the group together in terms of your
Okay.
space. So
And
yeah,
I need a leader,
That-
so we will touch.
I'm your
touch
girl.
base.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing the information.
Oh, you're welcome.
When I first met you, I was just like, oh, okay. And then your whole thought of the way that I name it is a hub of bringing everyone together, because it's not only for new entrepreneurs like LLC. People have already established some things, but they don't know the opportunities to shift and to move around. So I think what you're doing is fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
Fantastic.
And
Fantastic.
hopefully we move to storefront. Good goals.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. All right. Great. So yeah. Just excited. I'm excited. No. You don't know why I'm excited. So I just got a text message from the owner of Urban Studios, right here where you are, and they are going to cover your event.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
What a blessing. What a blessing.
goodness.
Here I am thinking
Partnership.
something's going on wrong. Like what? And
See, if
so
I
look
wasn't
at
on
that.
camera, I'll be all over the split just shouting.
I'm trying to
That's
tell
wonderful.
you.
Look
When
at that
God, when
blessing.
you
Look at
are,
God. See?
God. And I'll tell you, it's been divine connection for me. I will admit, since I lost my job and then came back to the hotel, it has been nothing but divine connections that has
That's how
birthed
God
my
works.
growth. And I thank God and the people who listened to God and surrounded me and given me
It's always
advice.
His timing.
Jesus, that's
Yeah,
how
just
God
thank God.
works.
Yes,
That's
he
how
does.
He
Do
works.
it. He
That's
just
how He
do
works.
it.
So everything is already planted and situated and everything for you.
Yes.
It's all of us when we take our movement and we have that faith. That's when we allow God to orchestrate it. And when we
Yes.
move out the way, so you might have been real smart and doing real good on your job. So sometimes He got to break you down and humble you. And
Yeah,
when He
yeah,
does, it's
yeah.
so amazing. So we're not gonna have a shout party. We are gonna move on to the next one. But
Or move you when you won't move.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Shake you up a little.
Or
That's
sit
right.
you down when you're moving too fast, or move you when you won't move. Woo, okay. So we're
Wonderful.
going to transition into our final topic, which is about relationships. So when is the right time, or when is the best time to move from a relationship? So I'll go down, and please chime in as we go through. And it can be friendship and relationship. So I wasn't really basing it on necessarily a male and a female in
Right.
terms of intimate relationship, but friendship as well. And one, you're exhausted from hearing about all their drama. Me, I'm very protective about my space, and I say that over and over again. When somebody is like, you have people who want to vent to you, you have friends who go through things, but when it's constantly drama, like it's your friend, and you're like, I don't even want to answer the phone, or you have to go through that. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
that's an issue.
That's critical.
That's an issue. And they don't value your time. That's like a level of disrespect to me.
Yes.
Like when someone always late or canceling at the last minute, just don't have any respect of your time. Things happen. So it's not like you have to be all, a certain way all the time. But consistency, I watch people behavior, and I also watch how people treat me. And I'm very cognizant of that. They jeopardize your well-being. No friend of yours should ever put you in a compromising situation where it jeopardizes your well-being, whether it be mentally, physically, or emotionally. Neither one of them.
I was in an abusive marriage at 25.
Wow.
And I had to, I feel like God set me to the side because I was battling against, do I stay in the marriage because I'm married, and just try to work it out. But it gotten to the point where I had to sit with God and I said, I don't think this is right, God. I gotta go.
Jesus.
And I felt like He said to me, I never kept you in a relationship where there's no love. So you gotta know. You gotta love yourself.
Corinthians.
And have enough, courage and power to say, I'm
This is
better
not
than this.
love.
I often I often say that it's okay to have a checklist. And that's a checklist for, not only relationships, romantic relationships, what have you, and marriages, but even with friendships. Because if you get to, like for me, this year for me was so huge as far, I turned 50 first and foremost, but yes, half a century.
Right.
I had to go through and analyze some things, some toxic things that I want to continue to deal with because you may have a loyalty to that individual because you've known them for so long, or what makes you happy, And so that's what I mean by a checklist. I was like, okay, God, you know what? You're going to grant me another half a century and then some. And do I want to continue to deal with this, or is this person was a season in my life and now it's over? And it's okay. It
Yeah.
really, truly is okay because peace of mind is so important. So
Yeah,
important.
yep. So earlier when we were talking, you pulled out a scripture. It was Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Yeah.
41:10.
Can you just read that to us again?
Oh, sure. Isaiah 41:10, and it's my favorite. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand.
Yeah. So that ties into every single thing that we said. Like, God doesn't want us to be in a battered situation or a situation where we're being undervalued.
Yes.
So that's very important and very key. So just a couple other things. If your friends, if they don't respect your boundaries and they don't put effort into a relationship, like, everybody have different languages, whether it's love language, friendship, relationship. Everybody have different checklists of what they will accept and what they define as a friend. I was at an event with a bunch of women, and the question was talking about friendships and how do you define them, when is the time to leave. And for me, I respect how you define a friendship, how you define a friendship. I know me, I'm very, very hard in terms of loving. So in terms of my friendship, you can have the shirt off my back, and I expect to have the shirt off your back if it's
right.
going like that. And I know that people are differently, but if some of the things don't work for me, then I'm not going to have them in my circle. And in terms of the boundaries, if somebody irritate my space, overly and overly, and people will be like, this is my personality, you can step back with that. We mature, we grown, yeah. You can be you right on over there. I love you over there, though.
Yeah,
Over there.
yeah.
And then last two, the conversation is all about them.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And it's funny because people have seasons where they go through things, and it may be a balance where it is more about them, but let them get one thing in. And y'all know I talk a whole lot, so even in my conversations with people at dinner or whatever, I'll have to try to remember to sit back and be like, okay, especially if it's wise counsel. Oh my goodness. I've been trying to get all of it out like it's a little therapist, but you have to be respectful and be mindful of another person. Nobody wants to just hear about you over and over and over and over again. And the last one, they take financial advantage of you.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That can just really be so damaging. And particularly, I feel like with family.
Yeah.
Entitlement.
Yes.
That's huge.
Yes. And being disrespectful, if I loan you something, if I choose to turn it into a gift, that's my desire. But at least try, pretend like you're going to pay me back or whatever. I think that's a whole disrespect.
Yeah.
And I remember someone, I can't say who it was, but she was saying she had borrowed some money from her mom. And her mom had called her out because she went on a trip. And she was like, because I went on the trip, she gonna call me about the money that she borrowed, and I was like, what's wrong with that? Like, you owe her money.
That's right.
So trip, like, she's looking at it like
Should've
you're
took the
spend,
mom.
like you have some money or something, like you're not, like you're disregarding her. And I mean, we didn't come to an agreement at the end because she was just like, she didn't think so. But I was
Because
like,
she felt
okay.
that she was entitled
Because it was her.
of who it was.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
perhaps what they may
Yeah.
have.
Right.
Yeah, that's
But
huge.
we've had so many people on the line, so thank you all for chiming in and just being on the line watching. Sanita Mitchell, Timothy Phillips, Joella Lane, hey Joella, Diva, Miss Peggy, look I can't even call her Peggy, Cassandra Lewis. We got to get you on here with the chef. Cornelia, Irene Clemens, Brittany McLendon. That's my new cousin. Shayla. Shayla was on the show. Lakeisha and a couple other people. So thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you.
So we're coming down to the ending of it, and I want to get any last minute comments that you all have. And before you do that, let me just say that our next show next week is going to be the co-ed show. So it's what women want and what men want.
Oh.
And we're working with the owner back there. Y'all can't see him. I'm leaning over because he's back there so that we can have this live studio audience. It's only going to be a limited number of them. But we have a slide where we have the instructions for how you can become a part of it. So it's going to be a limited number. So you're going to have to attach to all of our social media. So we have our Facebook page, we have our Instagram page, and we also have our YouTube channel. So you want to go over and you want to make sure that you're connected to all of those, and then we're just going to randomly pick some people to come into the studio and make sure that you're available. It's next Monday. You need to be here by 8 o'clock, and we start promptly at 8:30 most of the time, and then we go until 9:30, but we're going to have a little party, and y'all know how we do when we do from Let's Do This, when we did the men and the women. Oh, it's game over. It's game over. It's a friendly competition, but we go in on it. So that's going to be exciting. So very quickly, if you can give your closing remarks, and then we'll count it out.
I think for me, what comes to mind with relationships is to always evaluate the circles that you're in.
Good.
And if those circles are not pushing you forward, and everyone else in the circle is staying stagnant, it's time to go. It's
Yeah.
time to go and grow.
That's true. That's true. Well, for me, with regards to the right timing as far as, purchasing that home or even deciding to, purchase an additional as far as rental property and things of that nature, just take the fear out. And I'm such a big advocate of doing your research, but just look at it from a long-term perspective of creating that generational wealth, and start small, and just, definitely think big. Don't definitely think big, but just start small and work your way through. And before you know it, you're going to have about 4 or 5 rental properties. You have your first home, and that passive income is just going to start flowing in. So that's my advice.
Yeah, and so I'll just go down all of them very quickly. Like the house, Janice pretty much told you what you need, and looking forward to her classes that are upcoming so that we can start with small amounts and actually get into investing for real. So
Yes.
I'm telling you all, make sure that you pay attention. She's here the second Monday as well as the third Monday, and she's spitting knowledge from the financial avenue transitioning into the real estate. So we're talking about really building legacies, and getting you a piece of property is one sure way to do that and to make that happen.
Yes.
The second thing is with careers. Find you a job that you love and that you enjoy it. It may not be all the fundamentals of it when you first apply for it or when you first see the position description, but you can add your flavor to it to make it what you want. You spend too many hours of the day at your job, and it reflects you all around your family, your friends, and everything else. Business. The only thing that I want to say in terms of adding on to what we said is for you in terms of business. Make sure that your business has the potential to make money for real. people all over now are just starting business. I ain't hating on nobody, but I feel so bad when people are pouring money into this and nothing is coming out of it.
Yeah.
I know I'm a business major, I have an MBA, so I know like the whole 3-year mark and that you don't really make a true profit until a certain point. But I mean money coming in. If you don't have money coming in and it's just going out, you're going down the wrong path. You need to rethink that. And then the last one, relationships. Honor yourself first. Like, it's good. You need to be kind to other people, but make sure that you're not being stumped upon and that you're not belittling yourself, or you're not sticking around in a relationship where you know that you're not being valued, that you're not being valued. All right. So again, thank you all so much. The show has been great.
Yes,
thank you
thank
too for coming
Yes,
in,
yes.
and I'm looking forward to really partnering up. Just as we talked about before, I think what you're doing is a great thing. Oh, we're on. So thank you everybody, and thank you Mr. Denzel back there for stepping in and
Thank you.
just expounding upon what she's doing. And that's what we're
Thank you so
supposed to
much.
do around here. So yeah, they will be covering her event. So it's booked, but you can still come in. But make sure you sign up the event for the next one to come. So thank you all so much, and we'll see you all next week.